You're lying in bed, and out of nowhere, something you said 4 years ago surfaces, and your whole body flinches like it just happened. Or you're standing in line, and you suddenly remember the one email you sent to the wrong person, and your stomach still drops. It's not that you remember it, it's that part of you is still checking whether anyone else does, still bracing to be quietly written off for something that happened years ago and mattered to no one but you. That email cost you nothing. Nobody but you is still thinking about it. So why does your brain file a decade-old slip like it's still an open case? The answer isn't that you're overly sensitive. It's that, for most of human history, a memory like this is exactly what kept you alive. You live in a band of maybe 30 or 40 people, and you have known every single one of them your entire life. There is no next town to disappear into, no stranger's face to blend in among, no fresh start waiting anywhere else. This is the only tribe you will ever have, and it is also your only food, your only protection, your only mates, your only anyone. Every meal is shared in full view. Every hunt is watched and talked over afterward. If you take more than your share, or flinch when it matters, or lie about where you were, someone sees it, and by nightfall, everyone knows. Anthropologist Christopher Boehm at the University of Southern California spent decades documenting exactly how bands like this kept the peace with no police, no courts, and no chiefs handing down rulings. What he found instead was a ladder, and everyone in the group knew exactly which rung they were standing on. The first offense gets you gossip behind your back. Keep it up, and the gossip turns into ridicule to your face in front of everyone. So you feel it. Keep going past that, and people quietly stop saving you a place at the fire, stop bringing you in on the hunt, until you are still standing in the middle of the band and somehow already alone. And in the rare cases where a person keeps taking without limit and keeps endangering the whole group, that ladder has one more rung above ostracism. Removing the danger permanently as a last resort, Boehm traced the same escalation across foraging societies on multiple continents. The same ladder run by the group itself every time someone stepped out of line. A single act of carelessness, a broken promise, a lie found out, a moment of selfishness at the wrong time never stays contained to that moment. It gets talked about. It gets remembered. It becomes part of what the tribe knows about you permanently, because the tribe you were born into is the only tribe you will ever get. So if you could walk out of this exact life today and never see any of these people again, why does part of you still track every slip like the whole tribe is still watching? In 1994, neuroscientists James McGaugh and Larry Cahill, UC Irvine, ran an experiment to find out why some memories fade and others don't. Two groups heard the exact same short story about a boy walking with his mother, except one version stayed completely calm and the other took a sudden dramatic turn. The boy gets badly hurt. 2 weeks later, the group who heard the dramatic version remembered it in far sharper detail than the other group remembered theirs. The plain version had already gone fuzzy. The dramatic one hadn't. Here's what was actually happening while that memory was being made. The instant the story turned dangerous, their bodies flooded with adrenaline and cortisol, the same stress hormones that would fire if the danger were real and standing in front of them. Those hormones reach into a part of the brain called the amygdala, and the amygdala does something your average moment never gets. It reaches over and tags the memory being formed right next to it, like a hand pressing a stamp onto wet clay while it's still soft enough to take the mark. Then McGaugh ran it again, but this time, before a separate group heard that same dramatic version, he gave them a drug that blocks the body's stress hormone response. Same story, same dramatic turn. Different result. The memory boost disappeared completely. Blocked from feeling the alarm, their brains filed the boy getting hurt exactly the way they filed the boring version. No stamp, no priority, no advantage over anything else in their week. The story hadn't changed. Only their ability to feel the danger had, which means the sharpness was never coming from the story. It was coming from the stress hormones themselves, doing a job with a very specific purpose. The instant something registers as dangerous, socially or physically, your body releases that chemical stamp and tells your brain, store this one deeper. Make it easy to pull back up. Don't let this fade the normal way memories do. It isn't a passive filing error. It's an active order issued the moment the mistake first happened. And the order never came with an expiration date. So if that flag never quietly expires on its own, why does one bad memory like that end up outweighing 100 good ones? In 2001, psychologist Roy Baumeister at Case Western Reserve University pulled together decades of research across memory, relationship, relationships and decision-making, and found the same lopsided pattern every time. Bad is stronger than good. A single insult outweighs a handful of compliments. One betrayal erases years of trust, faster than years of trust can rebuild it. Baumeister's review found this asymmetry, showing up again and again, in how couples remember fights versus good nights, in how one bad review can outweigh 50 good ones in someone's mind, in how a single public failure gets replayed, while 100 quiet successes barely register. It even shows up in how relationships survive at all. Research on couples that Baumeister's review draws on found it takes somewhere around 5 good interactions just to offset the damage of one bad one. Not because the good moments don't count, but because your mind doesn't count them the same way it counts the bad. Your memory isn't broken when it does this. It's weighting the input the way it was built to. For most of your history, missing a threat could kill you, and missing a reason to feel good about your standing almost never did. So evolution built a ledger that overcounts the bad and undercounts the good on purpose, because that ledger kept people alive. The email you sent to the wrong person 4 years ago isn't competing fairly against everything you've done right since. It was never going to. It's a system that treats one flagged mistake as worth more than 100 unremarkable good days, because for most of your history, it usually was an alarm that never learned the difference between a reputation that could still get you exiled and one nobody alive is even keeping score anymore. And here's what nobody says out loud. You don't live in that world anymore. You can move to a new city, change jobs, never see any of these people again. Nobody is holding a council to decide whether you're still trustworthy. There is no tribe of 40 people whose survival depends on tracking your every misstep, because there is no tribe at all. Just an inbox, a phone, and a handful of people who have almost certainly forgotten the thing you can't stop replaying. That email might still exist as a screenshot, in a folder you'll never see, on a phone you'll never hold, belonging to someone who hasn't thought about it since the week it happened. We didn't get rid of the alarm. We just took away everything it was built to protect and left it running anyway, scanning a world of strangers and coworkers and old messages for a threat that stopped being fatal generations ago and never sent the alarm the update. So the next time an old mistake surfaces out of nowhere and your whole body flinches, stop and look at what's actually happening. This isn't you being overly sensitive. It isn't proof you can't let things go. You have a reputation tracking system that evolved because for nearly all of human history, a damaged reputation could end you, and it's still doing that exact job perfectly. In a world that quietly stopped needing it decades ago, it isn't malfunctioning. It isn't broken. It's not even running late. It's doing exactly what it was built to do, with the same precision it's always had. The only thing that changed is the world around it, not the system itself. You didn't get a faulty alarm. You got a perfectly working one, still standing guard over a threat that expired before most of the people it's protecting you from were even born. The mistake didn't earn a life sentence because you're weak. It earned one because your brain still runs on rules built for a tribe of 40 people who never forgot anything because they couldn't afford to. Your ancestors' mistakes had to be remembered because forgetting one could cost them everything. Yours don't. Nobody's keeping the file but you. And somewhere in you, a system built for a world with no fresh starts is still standing guard over one you left a long time ago, still checking, still bracing for people who stopped watching years before you did. They got to walk away when the tribe finally let them go. You're still asking permission.